What if someday Canadian adults were banned from smoking cigarettes because of the year they were born? Ottawa Public Health says Canada should consider the idea. That's because the federal government is reviewing its rules around tobacco use. Some researchers say it could have a positive impact.
If there is public support for this type of policy, I think it could be quite effective.
The idea was inspired by a ban that was passed last year by New Zealand's previous government. The New Zealand legislation was supposed to take full effect by 2027. It would have made it illegal for anyone born after 2008 to buy cigarettes for their entire life. It also would have limited the amount of nicotine in cigarettes to non-addictive levels and reduced the number of stores allowed to sell them. This would have been one of the strictest tobacco policies in the world.
What really made it powerful and groundbreaking is that for the first time, a tobacco control policy was targeting the root of the problem, which is the addiction.
But when a new Conservative government was elected in November, the three coalition parties agreed to repeal the law, and they say that'll happen before March. The government says it wants to use tobacco taxes to fund tax cuts it promised during the election. The finance minister says the government would have lost about $1 billion if the law was fully implemented.
The reason governments put a tax on tobacco should be to deter people from smoking. It's quite unethical to think that the government generates revenue from a deadly product.
It's also very expensive to the government to have people smoking.
New Zealand's Prime Minister has also said that the law would have encouraged a black market.
That was a bit of a red herring. New Zealand is a pretty isolated island that doesn't have tobacco manufacturing, and there really wouldn't be a way of being able to import the kind of supply necessary. It's a standard line used by the tobacco industry whenever any regulations are put on cigarettes.
Researchers had done some modeling on how the laws would affect New Zealand's population of 5 million people.
That was gonna lead to around 500,000 to 600,000 life years saved. The life course of the New Zealand population alive in 2020.
And those who would stand to benefit the most would have been racialized groups.
There is a huge inequity in the tobacco burden. That's why it's regarded by public health researchers and experts as a priority.
Ottawa Public Health told us in a statement that it shares a common goal with New Zealand's policy of reducing smoking rates. New Zealand and Canada have similar smoking trends. In both countries, smoking rates are decreasing overall, and yet cigarettes kill tens of thousands of people every year. The OPH also wants the Canadian government to increase the federal minimum age for buying tobacco, nicotine, and vaping products to 21, up from 18 or 19 in most provinces. Health Canada told us it's reviewing the feedback it received during consultations, including examples of what other jurisdictions are doing. All of that will help inform its final report. Now, of course, there's vaping, and it's way more popular among young people than cigarettes. We'll cover that in an upcoming video. For now, let us know what you think about a generational cigarette ban. Does it make sense? Do you have concerns? Tell us in the comments.